Did you?
Yeah, it's starting. It started recording.
Yes, he started with recording.
Good morning, everyone. Last week we discussed what EC2 Elastic Cloud Computing is. And this week we will be discussing virtual private cloud, that is VPC, offered by AWS. Before getting into today's topic, let us recall some important topics from cloud computing. So yes, can anyone define what cloud computing is? Cloud computing is a shared pool of resources. It shares as resources. So there are two important concepts in cloud computing. One is deployment model and the other one is service models, where deployment models tell us about the type of cloud we use and service model tell us the type of service we use. So coming to deployment models, there are four types of deployment models. I hope everyone remembers. Those are public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud. Here, the four deployment models are public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. Whereas public cloud is accessible to everyone. Everyone can use this. And the private cloud is accessible to only the one who pays for it. And it is encrypted, highly secure. And the third one is community cloud, where this cloud is used by different organizations. Uh, these organizations share this cloud within their different branches. And coming to hybrid cloud, it is combination of public cloud and private cloud, where a part of this is public and accessible to everyone, and the other part is private, where we have to pay and get it encrypted. So coming to service models, there are three types of service models: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. I told you what these services are. So let me recall it again for you. Infrastructure as a service is a technology, and it provides as the complete infrastructure we want. Here we request our service providers to provide us infrastructure where we can develop our softwares or where we can deploy our application. And coming to platform as a service, this is a service where the provider provides us a platform, that is a operating system or networks, complete half of the infrastructure we require. And here we can deploy our application. And the third one is software as a service. Here this service is provides us with a complete software we can that we can use directly. Examples for this software as a service are Salesforce, Facebook, Postney, and platform as a service are Azure. And these, coming to infrastructure as a service, these are some examples as you can see here. And yeah, these were two main concepts in cloud computing. Now, I told you why we use Amazon Web Service. To access these deployment models or service models, we require a provider. There are three main actors in cloud computing. They are cloud provider, cloud consumer, cloud connector, where cloud provider is the one who provides us with the service, and cloud consumer are we who consume that service, and cloud connectors are the ones who connect us with the cloud providers, the one who connect cloud provider with cloud consumer. Generally we consider internet as cloud connector. So now I told you what are different services provided by AWS. There are 212 services, And out of these 12 services, we discussed compute service, and in compute, we discussed Elastic Cloud Compute, that is EC2. We discussed different concepts present in Elastic Cloud Compute. This week, we will be discussing another service, that is networking and content delivery. And in networking and content delivery, we will be discussing VPC, that is virtual private cloud. So now, before learning what VPC is, let us learn what network and content delivery service is. I told you, as compute service satisfies infrastructure as a service model, this, this network and content delivery service here satisfies the other two service models, like platform service and software as a service. So I told you what these services, infrastructure, platform, and software are. Here, network and content delivery service provides us with both platform as a service and software as a service. Here, as you can see here, network and content delivery service have different services in it, like virtual private cloud, CloudFront, Route S3, API gateway, direct connect, app mesh, cloud map, and global access, global accelerator. So why do we use this network and content delivery service? The main point to use this is network and content delivery service provides us security. This is the most secure service out of all the 212 services provided by AWS. And we can have highest network availability. That means anytime, any load, we can access that. Highest network availability. And the third point is high performance. Network and content delivery service provides us with high performance. And we can also broadcast global coverage. Anywhere in the world we can access, we can provide our network using network and content delivery service. So now, as I told you, the company which requires platform as a service or software as a service, mostly in platform as a service, the provider provides us with network. In network, this networking and content delivery helps us a lot. So that's why cloud provider has to give importance to this networking and content delivery. Now, you will be having this question like, when should we use this network and content delivery service? Let me give you a clarity. Now, first scenario, if we have to build a scalable network, I hope everyone knows what scalable is. Scalable means if we want to increase or decrease within minutes, we can do it. If we want a type of network which is scalable, then we can use this network and content delivery. And the second scenario is if we have to deliver applications worldwide. Nowadays, if we start a company, then within few days we want to expand our network, right? We want to expand our company worldwide. For this, network and content delivery service can be used. And the third scenario is if we have to build a hybrid cloud. I told you what a hybrid cloud is. Hybrid cloud is combination of public cloud and private cloud. Here, if we have to access a cloud where a partial of it will be public and the other will be private, then we will be using this networking and content delivery service. And the last scenario is if we have to secure our application traffic. I told you what traffic means. Can anyone explain what traffic is? Traffic means the inflow of requests to our website. If we have to secure this incoming traffic, generally nowadays you are seeing there are a lot of hackers all over the world, and they are hacking different types of accounts and websites. This does not provide the complete security, but partially we can have a security which is okay. So this scenario, if we have to secure our application traffic, then we will use networking and content delivery service. Now, I hope everyone are clear up to this point. Now, there are three categories. Let me show you that. Here you can see there are three categories in this networking and connectivity service, content delivery service. Those are network architecture, network connectivity, and application delivery. So here you can see different services provided in this service, right? Let us discuss when will be these services used. Now, coming to first category, network architecture. In this network architecture, this will be useful when we require resource isolation, load balancing, global performance and delivery, scale network design. So now, first one, resource isolation. When you need your resources privately, or when you need a cloud that is completely used for you, then you'll be coming to the category of network architecture in network and content delivery service, and you will be using this service, Amazon VPC, virtual private cloud. Now, the second one, load balancing. You saw what load balancing in EC2. If you want load balancing, you'll come to this service, network and content delivery service. Then you'll be accessing the category network architecture, and you will be using service elastic load balancing. This elastic load balancing is also available in EC2, Elastic Cloud Compute. The third one here is global performance and delivery. If you want a system where you require where you have to deliver globally, then you'll be coming to this category, network architecture, and you'll be using service AWS Global Accelerator. And the third and the last one in this category is scale network design. You'll be, if you want a scalable service, then you'll be coming to this category and using AWS Transit Gateway. So far in these services, we covered 4 services. Now, coming to the second category, network connectivity. The first one here is when we need a domain name system. Can anyone define what domain name system is? Yeah, these domain name systems are the names of our websites. So here Amazon.com is a domain. So if you want a domain name system, then you will be coming to this category, network connectivity, in the service network and content delivery, and you will be using the service Amazon Route 53. And if you need a private connectivity, then you will be using AWS Private Link Service. If you need direct connection to AWS, then you will be using Direct Connect AWS. If you need encryption, you will be using AWS Virtual Private Network. I know many of you know what VPN is. Uh, Many of us use that. Now, coming to the third category, application delivery. Here in application delivery, if you want your content to be delivered, then you'll be coming to this category of application delivery in the service networking and content delivery, and you will be using the service Amazon CloudFront. If you need to monitor your microservices are the small services provided by your provided that you require. And if you want to monitor these services, you will be using AWS App Mesh Service. If you want to discover service like service discovery, you will be using AWS Cloud Map. In this AWS Cloud Map, you will be provided with every service you have been using, and you can discover whatever service you want. And if you want to build or deploy or manage APIs, then you will be coming to Amazon API Gateway. So here, these three are different categories in content delivery service, and these are the use cases that we use when we require something. Now, I hope everyone are clear with this, and you can ask me doubts. Any doubts?
No doubt, sir.
Continue.
No. So far we discussed what networking and content delivery service is. Now let me remind you all that I discussed. When you go to console, if you need a private, secure, high performance and highest network availability, and if you have the requirement like to broadcast globally, then you will be using this service, networking and content delivery. Now these are the different services present in networking and content delivery, and there are three categories in networking and content delivery. Those are network architecture, network connectivity and application delivery. And here are the use cases of those categories, and here are the services which we can use when we have the use case like this. Now that was all about networking and content delivery service. Now let us go into this week's topic, that is Amazon VPC, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. Today I'll be just briefing what Amazon Virtual Private Cloud is. Tomorrow we'll be getting deep into that. Now, as you can see here, we use Amazon Virtual Private Cloud when we require our resource isolation. I told you what resource isolation is. That means when we require resources for only ourselves. And that means we don't want anyone to access them except us. So that's when we use this virtual private cloud. Now, this virtual, as you can see here, this virtual private cloud comes under networking and content delivery service. Now, let me share you my screen. Yeah, switch window. Here, everyone can see my screen, right? Hello.
Yeah.
So yeah, virtual private cloud. Amazon VPC is a networking and content delivery service where we use it if we require resource isolation. Now, as you can see here, Amazon Virtual Private Cloud lets us provision a logically isolated section of AWS cloud where we can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that we define. As I told you, we use VPC when we require resource isolation. And using VPC, so as using VPC, we can virtually create a cloud where we have our resources and only we can access those resources. Coming to second point, you have complete control over your virtual networking environment, including selection of your own IP address range, creation of subnet. Yeah. Now, here using VPC, it's us who have the complete control over our virtual cloud. Here we can select our own IP address range, we can create our own subnets, and we can configure our route tables and network gateways. And we can use both IPv4 and IPv6 in our VPC for secure and easy access to resources and applications. How many of you know what IPv4 and IPv6 addresses are? So let me explain. Here IPv4 is a 32-bit IP address, whereas IPv6 is 128-bit IP address. This is difference between IPv4 and IPv6. And if you want another difference, then you can, this IPv4 is numeric, while as IPv6 is alphanumeric. So that's difference between IPv4 and IPv6. So yes, we can access this both IPv4 and IPv6 in our virtual private cloud, and this ensures security for us. If you want a 32-bit IP address, then we can using IPv4 we can access, and if you want a 128-bit IP address, then using IPv6 we can access to it our virtual private cloud. And we can easily customize the network configuration of our Amazon VPC. we can easily customize, we can easily configure our virtual private cloud. I'll be showing that in next class, how to configure our VPC. Now, let me give you an example. We can create a public facing subnet for our web servers that have access to the internet. Coming to what subnets are, we will be discussing it in later classes. Now, we can create these and using VPC, we can have a secure connection. And we can also paste our backend systems such as databases or application servers in a private facing subnet with no internet access. Let us assume that we created a virtual private network and virtual private cloud. And in this virtual cloud, will be completely accessible to only ourselves. So we have configured all resources. Let us assume that we lost our internet connection. So in these cases also, we can use our virtual private cloud as our resources are only accessible to us and these can be provided by the provider. So another point of virtual private cloud is we can use multiple layers of securities. There are different layers of securities and all the layers of securities can be used in a virtual private cloud. So this ensures the point most secure. I told you in the beginning why to use networking and content delivery, as it one of the option is most secure. Here using VPC we can use multiple layers of security. This includes security groups and network access control lists. I told you what security groups are in EC2, and these we can access these security groups and network access control lists to help control access to our Amazon EC2 instances in each subnet. So yes, this was all about virtual private cloud. I hope everyone are clear. Anyone have any doubts?
No.
So yes, let me brief you again. We use virtual private cloud when we require resource isolation. That is, when we require a virtual cloud for ourselves. We don't want anyone to access that cloud, and we can configure this cloud with all the resources we want, and we have to pay for that. And we can have high security using different security layers. We can use the security groups and network access controls to access our EC2 instances. We can also configure IPv4 and IPv6 addresses in our virtual private cloud for secure access, whereas IPv4 is a 32-bit address and IPv6 is 128-bit address, and the other difference between them is IPv4 is numeric and IPv6 is alphanumeric. So this was all about virtual private cloud. And now coming to benefits of virtual private clouds, there are three major benefits. The first one is secure, and the second one is simple. This is simple, and the third one is customizable. So let us discuss how these benefit us. Now, the first benefit is secure. Amazon VPC provides advanced security features such as security groups and network access control lists to enable inbound and outbound filtering at our instance and subnet level. I told you what inbound and outbound traffic is. So using VPC, we can have all these advanced security features. We can access our security groups to control our EC2 instances. So this is most secure. In addition, we can store data in Amazon S3. Amazon S3 will be discussed next week. It is a database where we store all our data. We can store this Amazon S3 and restrict access to that. It's only accessible from instances inside our VPC. So VPC, virtual private cloud, is only accessible to ourselves. So using this VPC, we can set some rules and we can store our Amazon S3, and we can restrict access for all those who want to access without our permission. And if we want additional security, we can create dedicated instances that are physically isolated from other AWS accounts. If we need, we can okay. If here if we want additional security, more security for our cloud, we can create a instance where this instance will only use it to provide security for our cloud. So yes, these are called dedicated instances. Now, this was about security, and the other benefit is simple. Creating a VPC is very simple. We can create a VPC quickly and easily using the AWS Management Console. So when we go to AWS console, we can go to the service networking and content delivery. Then we have an option. Let me show you that. Here. When we go to our Amazon console, we can directly go to networking and content delivery service, and then in this VPC we can easily create it. It is as simple as that. So this creation of VPC is very simple. So now, and we can also create subnets, IP ranges, route tables, and security groups. Using VPC, I told you we can access all the security groups, we can set IP ranges, we can route our tables. So this can be done automatically using VPC. And we spend less time for setting up and managing, so you can concentrate on building the applications that run in our VPCs. So now, in the past, we had physical data centers. So if we want to access a data center, then we have to go and take permission, and after applying, that would be transferred for manager, and he accepts his, and this process continues, and for this cloud to be accessible, it will generally takes 3 months to 4 months. And now here, using this Amazon console, we can create this cloud within seconds. So, and it is simple. So that was the second benefit, simple. And the third one is customizable. We can control our virtualizing network environment, including selection of our own IP address range, creation of subnets, and configuration of route tables and network gateways. I told you we use VPC when we require resource allocation. Apart from resource isolation, here we can easily customize our subnets, our IP ranges, and we can easily configure our route tables and network gateways. These were 3 benefits of virtual private cloud. So I hope everyone are clear with this. Does anyone have any doubt?
No doubt.
Yeah. Now, today we discussed what networking and content delivery service is, what VPC is, what are benefits of VPC. Let me remind you again. We use virtual private cloud VPC when we require resource isolation. That is, when we require a virtual cloud that can't be accessed by others, and it can be accessed by only ourselves. Now, coming to benefits, the virtual private cloud has 3 important benefits. Those are secure, simple, it is secure, and it is customizable. And in VPC, we can easily create our subnets, choose our IP ranges. We can easily access a virtual private cloud. So this was all about virtual private cloud. Tomorrow we'll be looking how to create different resources in virtual private cloud, as you can see here. These are the resources provided by virtual private cloud, and we'll be discussing all these resources, and we will also be looking how to assign a elastic IP. Can anyone define elastic IP? What elastic IP is?
permanent IP.
Yeah, how to set this permanent IP, that is elastic IP. So all that we'll be discussing tomorrow. So Nav, that was all about overview of a virtual private cloud, and this virtual private cloud is comes under the service networking and content delivery, and the main reason we use networking and content delivery service is because it provides high performance, it is most secure, and if you want to broadcast globally, and we this networking and content delivery service satisfies platform as a service model and software as a service model, while as compute is a service which satisfied infrastructure as a service model. So yeah, there are three categories in networking and content delivery. Those are network architecture, network connectivity, and application delivery. We also discussed what are the use cases, when we will be using which service and which category, and we saw why would we use Amazon VPC, that is for virtual private, that is for resource isolation, and we also saw different benefits of using virtual private cloud. So yes, that's all for today. I hope everyone is clear with today's session. If you have any doubts, now you can ask me. No doubts, right? So yes, that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll be discussing what are the different resources provided by VPC and how to assign elastic IP address. So that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.